What it do, guys? Manjoume here with another installment of my Will It Do series of videos where I take an older or niche piece of tech, incorporate it into my life for about a week, and I give you guys my findings. Today's piece comes to us from 2009 and is called the Sony Ericsson Aino. It's a pretty portable slider phone with selective touch-based operations. Weighing in at 134 grams or 4.73 ounces, it is really light and portable. Its 3-inch screen at 240 by 432 pixels is pretty small and moreover unimpressive. You're not going to be doing much here, so it'll get the job done. Buttons work fine, but I've yet to find a circle directional control on an older phone that I like. Holding the phone with the screen out shows you how thin it is. The operating system is some sort of proprietary system for an older phone, but has a decent menagerie of apps and other uses beyond what you'd expect. Internal memory is an astounding 55 megabytes, but can be supplemented up to 32 gigs via microSD storage. Since I wouldn't suggest loading videos onto this 3-inch screen, that's enough storage for a few videos, home movies, and music. More on that in a bit. Surprisingly, it has a 8.1 megapixel camera. This is surprisingly decent, and funny enough, gives you the option to go down to 7 megapixels, 6, 5, etc., so that the images take less space. While it can't touch flagship smartphone cameras, it can certainly contend with lower-end smartphones. Video isn't the same story with a 480p at 30 frames per second video capture ability. Take pictures, not videos with this thing. There is no selfie cam.
This is the quality of the sound recorder on the Sony Ericsson Aino.
This phone sports a removable 1000 mAh battery with a supposed 380-hour standby time and up to 13-hour talk time on 2G and 31-hour music play. In real life, I got a solid 2 days charge with moderate text and music use. Unfortunately, it uses a proprietary charger, so if it runs out on the go and you don't have that specific charger on hand, you're out of luck if you think you can just borrow a charger from a buddy. This unit has Wi-Fi B/G with DLNA, Bluetooth version 2.1, GPS, and stereo FM radio. Connecting to Wi-Fi will be difficult since internet securities have evolved beyond, so you'll have to use older types with this device. Bluetooth works as it should, and the FM radio requires you to have the proprietary port to headphone jack adapter to work. Music and other media work very well. The music has a few cool UI skins, and music can be played over other apps like pictures and messaging. There's no built-in headphone jack, so you need the aforementioned adapter to use headphones. Video works well enough for such a unit. I used MediaGo to put media on it, and it was sufficient. As I mentioned earlier, there are limited touch capabilities. It's mostly used when the screen is not out. From there, you can use the basics: pictures, music, videos, radio, and take photos. You use the touch in the camera to take the pictures when the screen is out or not out. Response is not fast, but it definitely works. Apps can be where this thing shines. I can say this because it looks like you can still download apps from Gameloft that'll work with this phone. I didn't feel like paying for such apps, but there are workarounds to get games on phones like this. As such, I was able to get Counter-Strike Mobile, as well as a list of others where you can find via a quick Google search. One of the built-in games is Loco Roco, a port of a PSP game of all things. A few changes were made, like instead of using the shoulder buttons to move the world, you use the accelerometer and tilt the phone to do so. Works well and is still a fun game. Built-in apps are pretty impressive, though I say that with an asterisk. There were Facebook, YouTube, and even a Twitter app. However, I could not connect to any of these services, and the browser is barely functional. Twitter works. Maybe a bare-bones version of Facebook Mobile might work as well. YouTube, however, is a no-go. One built-in app that still works is PS3 Remote Play, which I covered in a previous video. Simply put, when you go on Wi-Fi or 3G, you can stream your PS3 to your phone and look at photos, listen to music, save to your hard drive, and videos saved. In addition, you can use a web browser for what it's worth and even send messages as if you're on the console itself. I'm unsure if you can watch downloaded movies, but you can't run any apps, discs, games, or even browse the PlayStation Store. It's highly limited, but it shows they have this level of connectivity on such a device back in 2009. Keep in mind that Remote Play depends on the home unit's processing power, not the Remote Play device itself. Remote Play was technically possible on every PS3 game, but not a necessity, so developers usually chose to put that little bit of processing power into playing the game instead of commodities like Remote Play that had yet to be fully established. As a result, there were only a handful of PS3 games that were playable via remote play, and only the PSP and Vita could use them. It is worth noting that all PS1 disc and digital games are compatible via remote play on PSP and PS Vita. Platforms like the PC and Aino are more media focused and cannot play games. At the end of the day, will it do? I'm gonna say a solid no. It functions as a phone very well, and it has some game potential with decent personally generated media or stuff you put on it. There's no streaming or social apps that work acceptably or are up to date at this time. It's got a solid camera with terrible video. The good here includes the remote play gimmick, but it is heavily outweighed by its many shortcomings, and you're better off with a contemporary smartphone. If you want to stay up to date on my videos and live streams on both YouTube and Twitch, check out the links in the description below and join my Discord. That's all for now, guys. Manjoume out.